In this video, we're going to look at installing and locating a post processor to drive your machine or to drive your CNC. First, what a post processor is and what it does is it's a file that formats the code that's output to a CNC machine. It's pretty much just a driver for BobCAD to be able to control your machine properly. Now, to install a post, what you'll need to do is go to a computer that has internet access. It doesn't have to be the computer that has BobCAD on it, but you can save the file and bring it over on a disk. What we'll do is go to BobCAD.com. Then we can come to Support, Downloads, then Post Processors. Now the website might change from time to time, but the principles here will be the same. We have a version. In this case, we're installing to version 24. So we'll select V24. And then it asks us for a machine type. In here, we can pick laser, lathe, mill router, plasma, or water jet. These are the types of machines that BobCAD can program. Let's say we have a Haas machine. We'll come to mill and router, and then it asks us for a machine make, so we'll choose a Haas. The machine make is listed by controller. You can see it, there's a pretty big list here. Now, some machines do have different names for the controllers. So, like in this case, if we look at, say, Southwestern Industries ProtoTrack, this would be for a ProtoTrack machine, but the machine's manufactured by Southwestern Industries, as well as that's the controller that's on it. So you will need to know what controller is on your CNC machine. Now, we wanted Haas, so we'll come over here. We'll locate Haas in the list. Now, in here we see that we get a list of post processors. We have Haas TM metric, Haas TM no ATC metric. Now, these posts, when we hover over them, you'll see you'll get an example of the code that's going to be output by the software to drive the machine. So this should give you a pretty good idea of what the code output will be and whether or not if it will work for your machine. This will help you choose which post processor to use. Now, companies make many different machines with many different models. Usually the controller and the programming is the same. So we could see it, there's only a couple Haas VF posts here. These posts should control any Haas VF machine, as well as some of the other Haas machines as well. So what you really want to do is take a look at the code to see what's output. The naming of these files, you'll see Haas TM no ATC. That no ATC would stand for automatic tool change. Now, if you don't see an exact match for your machine make and model, what you want to do is look at these posts and then choose one that's close, or choose the machine type that's closest to your machine. One post may drive many machines. Even if we look at, let's say, Fanuc. Fanuc is a very common controller that's put on many different brands of machines. So your machine might be one brand or another, but still have, say, a Fanuc OMC. So if we look at this, what you want to do is look at the code and just make sure that this is going to run on your machine. To download and install the post, what we do is we click on the file. Let's say that we're going to grab that Haas VF. And let's say that we just want a standard post, so we'll grab Haas VF for revision 1. We'll click on this. The browser will then give you an option to run or save the file. You should probably save the file to your computer somewhere. In this case, I'll choose my Documents and choose Save. After the file is done saving, we can then run the file. Now, if you're working on a computer that's not connected to the internet, you'd want to save the file to a flash drive or to a CD, or maybe even a network. We'll go ahead and run the file. We'll confirm that we want to run the file, and this will start the post processor installer. Just want to click Next, and then Install. And the post should install with no problem. You should see no changes at this point. And yes, this program is installed correctly, so Windows is just asking us if the program's installed properly. Now, once we've installed the post, when we come to our BobCAD, Then to our CAM tree, we can come to, say, our milling stock. And then we can see the post name under here. We can right-click and go to Edit. And choose Select. And now we should see in this list that we have the HOSVF for revision 1. We can then select that post processor. Now this is the post processor being used by BobCAD to format the code for the HOSVF machine. Now the code, if you can't find a post that matches your controller, or that does not have the correct output for your machine, what you can do is on that same website, you'll see towards the bottom of the screen that there's a post request form. You can take this form, print it out, or edit it on your computer, either way, and then select which version of software you're installing for, what type of machine it is, fill out the controller make and model. To create or customize a post processor for you, what we need is an NC program that's known to work properly on the machine, a G-code file that actually drives the machine. You can locate that in your machine manual, pull one off the machine that you've programmed before, or contact your machine dealer to get this information. But we do need this to create a post. We also will need a list of acceptable G&M codes. You should be able to photocopy these or write these down out of the manual. And also a list of the CAN cycles for the machine. What we need is any CAN cycle for your drilling. There should be some short descriptions in your manual. Go ahead and send that over to us as well. And this can be sent to the contact information up at the top of the page, either post department at bobcadsupport.com, or it can be faxed over to us, as well as mailed if you have no other option of getting the form over to us. We'll then create a custom post processor that outputs what you need for your machine. Go ahead and close this.